guys, I'm pretty sure I'm part of the goatee squad now. I've got a pretty rocking goatee. I think it's pretty cool. But the only thing that's really left to happen is for me to be cast in a Marvel film. So really, Doctor Strange 2, that would be lovely. I can be in charge of the London Sanctum. I don't mind. I just noticed on my camera there's this weird blue light flare coming from this side of the room. And it's not coming up on the wall, it's just on the camera. So maybe there's some extra dimensional level stuff. I don't know, that was just a Doctor Strange thing, whatever. This was the best origin story for me out of the MCU since the first Iron Man. I count Guardians of the Galaxy as a team-up movie, so like an Avengers type movie. So apart from Iron Man 1, this is the next best origin story for me. And the visuals were absolutely stunning in this film. It wasn't just Inception. It was Inception on steroids. Most of the CGI was incredible. There were a few crappy scenes. Dormammu, the purple cloud. Guys, come on, Hollywood, we're done with the purple clouds. We're done with the clouds. It was like a mix between Green Lantern, Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, and some other movie. And the other movie was freaking Suicide Squad. Not a good mix. They didn't really portray Dormammu the way I thought they were going to, like true to the comics, like flaming hair, all that jazz. I think they've done that really because obviously they're bringing Hela into the MCU in Thor 3, and to have like two Hell-like dimensions in a way might be too much for an avid fan. The action scenes were absolutely insane, and there were so many freaking Easter eggs. I'm just gonna say the staff of the Living Tribunal. Now, the Living Tribunal is literally the second or third most powerful character in Marvel Comics. So the fact that they're dropping him in this is like, is he actually gonna be a part of the MCU in some way, like physical form? I have no idea. Or maybe the staff is what is the remnants of him. I have no idea, but that was a cool freaking Easter egg. Oh, and let's not forget about the small little thing called a time stone in this film. It was well explained, they utilized it very well, and they really tied in some old Doctor Strange mythos with some blended new stuff because he is part of the MCU. The idea that Agamotto was essentially the first Sorcerer Supreme, and maybe he was tasked with protecting the time stone initially, is basically ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It just works. It just works. Was there an echo, or was that just me? I think that was just me. I didn't particularly like the character of Baron Mordo in this film. I think they tried to make him multi-dimensional, pun sort of intended, I guess, but he just came off very one-dimensional. Again, and it just didn't work. They tried to push him maybe a bit too much, and the way that he went from a hero essentially to becoming a vigilante villain type character by the end of the film just didn't work for me. He's an out-and-out villain really for me, so it didn't mesh well. Mads Mikkelsen was also okay as the villain. He was completely a one-and-done character, but they gave him good motives and he did push the story forward in the way it needed to go to be able to come to an end point of the film. So overall, I think he worked, and the cinematography was insane, and the music just worked really, really well. It was like a Sherlock-esque horror type vibe. To be honest, I thought the film was going to have more horror elements to it. So it sort of let me down on that part. I'm not saying I like horror films. I do not like horror, gore, that type of stuff, but it didn't really have enough of that, which I thought it would. The pacing of the film was good, but at the same time, the end 10 to 15 minutes was a bit rushed, especially the last fight scene. I mean, we're talking about time here, so it was going to be a bit strange how they're going to deal with it. But the last 15-20 minutes maybe progressed too fast. Back to the positives for this film. The Cable Levitation was honestly super cool and quirky. It was like carpet from Aladdin. Like, it was that level of cool. It had its own personality, and it just worked really well with the juxtaposedness against Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange. It just worked really well. And I'm gonna say this, I didn't think I was gonna like Tilda Swinton coming into this as the Ancient One, because, well, mainly the race thing. To be honest, actually, I didn't really like Baron Mordo in this film either, and he's supposed to be a Transylvanian guy, so... But she can do anything she wants, and anything she does really well. Also, I wasn't too keen on Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange himself. There were many more people on my list to play Doctor Strange before him, but he pulled it off incredibly well, and this is definitely going to be the character which is going to push the MCU forward into Phase 4. Rachel McAdams in this film was a little bit cruddy. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't her, it was really the character. It was like a Jane Foster to Chris Hemsworth's Thor in the first Thor and the second Thor. Like, it wasn't an interesting love interest at all. Like a 0% interesting love interest. Useless, pretty much, I would say. I mean, she had some useful parts in the film because the story needed it, but she as a character didn't add anything to the story for me. This is the first film with the new Flicky Dicky logo that they have going at the front of the film, and honestly, I don't like it. Why would you change something which is so classic? It's like, you didn't need to change it, you're just doing it for the sake of it. Why change something that doesn't need to be changed? Just don't do it. And overall, Marvel are really good with continuity compared to Fox, wow, they are shoddy and shocking with their continuity. But I think Marvel may have misstepped here, because in Winter Soldier, they already knew, S.H.I.E.L.D., Hydra, already knew who Stephen Strange was at this point. So that leads me to believe I have no idea when this film is set. When Doctor Strange is set in the timeline, I have no idea. Between 2008 and 2016. Because this must have been set in 2014 in that case, or before that. Because that makes no sense at all. What, S.H.I.E.L.D. are just gonna be like, wow, he's a really good neurosurgeon. We need to stop him. He's on our kill list right now. No, that's not gonna happen, but they'll probably clear it up in the future. I really enjoyed what they did with Wong as well. They turned him from a tea-serving manservant to a pretty badass librarian killer. And you can't make that guy laugh, I'll tell you. And I literally fell in love with the tangibilization of the magic that they were using. Like, they were just like doing this. I don't have the CGI skills and After Effects skills to do something like that yet. But it wasn't just the look of the magic they were using, which was cool. It was also the sling rings as well. The way they've done it is they've really limited their power overall, the sorcerers in the world. They've limited them and made them more grounded and more like humans as opposed to extra level beings, because they need these special items and totems to be able to enhance themselves. And I'm super glad that by the end of the film he hadn't been given the title Sorcerer Supreme, just because he'd literally just become a sorcerer. Like, you don't want to be giving universal level power to someone who just figured out how to like create a whip out of the air. Like, calm down, guys. But he did become the New York Sanctum head, basically, so they've given him some levels. Probably by Doctor Strange 2, at the end of it, he'll probably become the Sorcerer Supreme and be in charge of the Eye of Agamotto himself. The thing is, I see Dormammu potentially coming back because he's just a prick and just be like, no, I'm good, I lied about my deal with you, I'm gonna try and take over the Earth again. But the way they've done Dormammu is they've made him into a Galactus type character as opposed to the Dormammu we know. Maybe that's because they don't own the rights to Galactus and they're like, we can change up the character. I said before with the Hela thing, that way they have like a Hell character and they have the Cosmic Eater of Worlds essentially, so it makes sense. Plus they're literally referred to as the Cosmic Eater of Worlds or something along those lines. I do not let any film get away with this next thing, and it's product placement. The amount of product placement in this film, my god, it was endless. It was like an endless stream of product placement. The amount of revenue they must have made from product placement in this film is redonkulous. I mean, what, you cool? You cool? You cool? You need to stop. You need to stop. You were literally in my face. Your cool was being splashed. That's a bit weird. On my face, that's a bit weird. I wouldn't mind it. It tastes really good. Those 25 milliliter bottles, extortionately priced, but really good. Windows, you need to stop. You need to stop right now. There were so many watches, cars, I've had enough. But that was offset. I'll tell you, that was offset by the amount of laughter in the freaking cinema. There was a lot of laughing in the 2 showings I've been to. I went to 2 showings on a Tuesday and a Sunday. 8 o'clock in the evening, and both of them, there was not a seat in the theatre, and the raucous in that theatre was insane. I'm definitely going to see this film again. I think it's probably going to make 80 million this weekend in the US. I would say it's probably going to make 614 million when it's done with its overall run. I think that's a pretty good figure. Oh, and I almost forgot, Thor 3 is a big film, Thor Ragnarok. It's got Loki, it's got Odin, it's got the Hulk, it's got Sif, it's got Valkyrie, it's got Thor himself, and now it's got Doctor Strange. Yeah, my mind was blown in the theatre. At the same time, I sort of knew it was coming because, well, I read a lot of news when it comes to entertainment news, and I saw some set photos of Thor having a card with Doctor Strange's New York Sanctum address, 177A Bleecker Street, and I was like, bang! I knew it at that point that he was going to be in Thor 3, Thor Ragnarok, but wow, Ragnarok, The Rock, too bad he Shazam. So do stay for the after credit scene, there are 2. So the question you must be asking now is, what would I give this film out of 10? And to be honest, I think I have an idea. It's within a range. I think I'm going to go right in the middle. So I'm going to say I would give this film an enlightening, because it's about spirituality and mysticism, an enlightening 8.5 out of 10. That's what I would give this film. Definitely worth a viewing, guys. Definitely worth a viewing. Go and see it once. Go and see it twice. I'm seeing it 3 times, maybe 4, I don't know. Anyway guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do like, share, comment and subscribe to the channel down here. If you didn't, then the Sorcerer Supreme himself is gonna come after you, and you don't want that. No, you don't. So just subscribe anyway. I've been Orange with the Comic. You have been great, and I'll see you next time. Skadoosh.